afternoon. Today is August 3rd, 2023. We are live on the scene outside of the federal courthouse on Constitution Avenue, Northwest, just a few blocks away from the Capitol, the seat of the U.S. government. I mentioned that because today is an historic moment, an historic day in American history, as well as democracy, as the word democracy. Today, U.S. former President Donald J. Trump was arraigned in court on 4 counts of federal criminal charges, including attempt to overturn the 2020 election, which we know on January 6th. Just a few blocks away, a group of Trump supporters enter into the Capitol as an attempt of an insurrection to take over the government and stop the counting of the votes. The former president arrived at the courthouse in a motorcade around 3:30 p.m. and appeared in court around 4 p.m. before federal court Judge Taya Oka. He pleaded not guilty to all 4 federal criminal charges after the judge read the charges and explained the penalties they carry, including a 5-year jail time for attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election, 20 years jail time each for interrupting Congress, an attempt to take away every American right to vote and have their vote counted. These indictments, which were unveiled on Tuesday by Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith, marks the 3rd federal indictment within this year alone that have been brought against the former president, including one by New York State Attorney General Letitia James and another one in Florida. The scene outside of the courthouse was lively but solemn, with Trump supporters and Americans who came to see the former president being held accountable for the riots, the January 6th riots, and attempted insurrection that took place on Capitol Hill that left some Capitol police dead and several injured. These indictments are unprecedented in American history. I spoke with some of the people that were outside of the courthouse. Listen to what they have to say about this historic moment and what it means for America and democracy in the world. Talk to me, why this time, why was it important for you to be here today?
Because no one's above the law, including presidents. And when you break the law, you have to serve your time. And so I hope the president gets a fair trial. I think he will. But I hope the jury votes to convict him.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And you?
What do you want to know?
Almost everyone here.
I live nearby, so I just wanted to come out and see the spectacle.
Oh, you just want to see the spectacle. This is one of the most dramatic political drama that we're seeing unfolding in our lifetime.
Yes.
So talk to me about that.
Well, I think it's unprecedented that, we have a ex-president, facing these type of charges. So I think for people like myself and others, we just want to see justice, and no one is above the law. So if it was you or I, we wouldn't have all of this, we would be locked up.
Yeah.
So, I'm just here for the spectacle.
You're like a small group of people that gathered here to see the former president, Donald Trump, motorcade arrive at the courthouse. Can you talk to me this moment in time? This is unprecedented in American history, in the world actually. And we're seeing the reality unfold. Everyone in the world is watching this. America is seeing as a beacon of democracy, as a leader when it comes to foreign policy. Talk to me about what this moment means to you. Why are you here today?
Because it is really historic, and I was in town for a conference, and I just wanted to be here. You asked me what it means, and I think it means a couple things. It's really sad. I mean, I think people forget how sad this is, that somebody we elected as president could do such horrible things to damage our democracy, and that so many people still support him. That's really heartbreaking to me. But it also shows that people have to be held accountable, and that nobody's above the law. I know those all sound like cliches, but that's sort of at the heart of our democracy, is that our vote counts. It has to count, or it just all falls apart.
So you are very happy that he's being held accountable.
Hopefully that he will be, yes.
Hopefully it will
this
be.
is the first step.
Okay, so you mentioned that you are visiting the capital. Where are you from?
From Richmond, Virginia.
You are from, okay, so just around the corner.
Right.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. You just told me that you were walking to the courthouse when you saw the sign.
Yeah, the sign actually blew and hit my leg, so I figured it was a sign, so I picked it up.
What does it mean to you?
Well, it means generally we're all human beings and we're all equal, and none of us are better than anyone else, and none of us deserve to get away with a crime. If we committed a crime, we should stand trial for that crime, and that includes me, that includes the president, that includes you, includes anyone.
Do you think you will ever, in your lifetime, see anything like this?
I hope not.
Like what we're seeing today.
I hope I never see this again.
You hope you never see this
I hope I never
again.
see this again. I hope my children never see this again. I hope my grandchildren never see this again. This is a very low point in our country. Just the idea of that our country is so divided, and such the idea that one man can create such hostility and despair. I hope we never see it again. And our founders did not expect us to elect such a narcissistic individual, someone who has no empathy for anyone else or believes he's above the law. And I hope we never experience that again.
You know, with what you just said, we have the election coming up, and is the front runner for one of the two parties in this country.
Yes.
And it has such an influence in the current Congress.
It's a shame. I believe in the long arc of our country, this will just be a low point, another low point of our country, and a little bump on our way to a much better place. The fact that this one man who has proven to so many of us over and over again that he's not fit can have the kind of support he has, it's a shame. But it also tells us how we consume our media, how we consume our information, and the fact that we consume it inside our own little bubbles, and we don't let other facts permeate. And the reality is, until we get back to a place where we can all, support each other and want each other to be successful, we're going to be in this space for a while. It's unfortunate, but I think long term we're going to get through this, and I think long term we're going to get back to being a country for law and order and honor and do right, do things right for others and help others when they're in their need. That's what I'm hoping for. But right now is not a good moment, and I hope we don't see this moment again.
Okay, so with the election coming up, what is your message to the rest of Americans that are watching this, either on the television or we read about it tomorrow? And we have often taken in this country our right to vote. We take it for granted. There are people that don't register. There are people that said, well, my vote really doesn't count. I have other important things to do. So why is this moment? Why should this moment be a wake-up call?
Because but for 10,000 votes in this state and 15,000 votes in another state, we would have him still as president. So your vote does matter, and you do need to vote, and you do need to register, and you do owe it to yourself and to your family and your community to get the right facts, to actually do your own research. But you got to participate in democracy. Democracy's not a, it's not a, it's not a sport we can just sit back and watch. It's something we all have to engage in. And if we don't participate, and if we let that participation opportunity go away, we end up with a Trump. We end up with a Supreme Court that doesn't agree with 70% of Americans on women's rights. So it is critically important that we all participate in it. You don't have to get overly involved. Just vote and participate that way.
I have to ask you, this time that you had locked him up, you know, we can go back to 2016 when during the election, when the former president that just arrived here was chanting that to his opponents, the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. As a veteran, you came here today.
I came here today because I swore an oath to protect the Constitution and to protect the country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And Donald Trump is a threat to the Constitution. He's a threat to democracy. And that's why I'm here.
And you want justice to be served?
Yes, absolutely.
As a veteran, I guess the other question I will ask you, the former president has such an influence in Congress. And we have a situation right now where we have one of the legislators that is holding a lot of military promotion.
And Senator Tuberville is creating a national security crisis for a personal political agenda. He is weakening national security, putting the lives of people in uniform in jeopardy. It's a travesty. So I'm out here as a veteran, I'm out here as a former Army doc, I'm out here as a former VA doc because Donald Trump is responsible for the unnecessary deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans because of his failed COVID-19 policy, because of the misinformation that was disseminated.
Of the courthouse, where, as you can see, a group of people have gathered. Some are Trump supporters, and others are here.
Oh yeah, she just kept going. Okay.
This way.
You want to blacks for Trump?
You can see black
Man, you
for
know,
Trump.
it's America. Hey, absolutely. It's like a chicken voted for Colonel Sanders.
I'm gonna use it.
You know,
I wish I had that tape because I had me write that down.
you know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous.
That was pretty good.
It's not mine. It's from a long time ago.
Don't matter. That was pretty good. That was really good.
But, oh my God, look at them. Whew. You know they're getting paid. No way they're not getting paid. You know they're getting paid. Relax for Trump.
Interview you?
Sorry? Who?
You were on the other side previously.
Yes,
You saw the former president motorcade.
Absolutely.
The courthouse.
I came here for that.
You came here for that?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I mean, I was actually in town for a business trip, And this day worked out because I saw that this was happening and I thought, I have to be there. He is a villain and I have to see law and order start moving forward because he is a disaster. So for me, I had to be here. For my children, this is the biggest case, probably in my lifetime, bigger than Brown versus the Board of Education and Dred Scott. Yeah, he needs to be held accountable.
I mean, you were just saying, earlier on, you see a group of African American wearing T-shirt black for Trump.
Right. It's ridiculous. It is like a chicken voting for Colonel Sanders. It is the most ridiculous thing ever. So they must be getting paid. It is he gives less than a fig about anybody other than himself. It's very obvious. So for anybody to be wasting their time supporting him, to me, is they don't understand him.
I mean, but there are people that, this is a free country.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are people that would say, whether African American, they should be able to choose the party
Absolutely.
or the person that they want to support.
Yeah, absolutely. They have every right. And I have every right to say, he doesn't care about you, and your passion, your desire to support him is misled and wasted energy, because he should be in that building still. He shouldn't have even been allowed to get out on bail or whatever they let him out on. He should be still in there.
Okay, so speaking of African American, we have the election that is coming up in 2024, and often people don't go out to vote, or they don't even register.
Right.
And we know that a lot of issues that affect the community of color, not just black, brown, Hispanic, Native Americans. So what is your message to Americans that are watching this at home, or we read this in the paper tomorrow morning, and people around the world that are watching this? I mean, this is something that we think will happen in third world, in developing countries.
Sure.
So what is your message regarding the upcoming election?
So I would say this is a process that is quintessentially America. This is what America is supposed to look like. There are people here who love Trump. There are people here who hate Trump. We are here. Nobody's fighting. Nobody's climbing any walls. Nobody's, hurting anybody. We are protesting. But at the end of the day, we are still Americans. And what we have coming up is the opportunity for America to choose. And everybody has to come out and make a decision. If either we want a guy who is a villain, who really has no good interest in the country or any place else in the world other than to make money, a guy who wants to monetize the presidency, or somebody who wants to see us move forward.
Former President Donald Trump, motorcade, leaving the courthouse, the federal courthouse. The former president was arraigned on 4 counts. The press that accompanied the former president inside the courtroom. Again, former President Donald J. Trump just departed the federal courthouse in D.C. after being arraigned of 4 counts of criminal charges. The former president pleaded not guilty to the charges, and will appear again in court on August 28th.